Hey guys, today we're going to be building out a system using artificial intelligence and web scraping technology to automatically scrape leads on the internet, right? In one click of a button. We're going to enrich the leads we get by getting their emails and their phone numbers automatically, and then we're going to be sending these guys a full marketing report on their business online. So it's essentially generating like a free lead magnet. We're going to be using AI to generate audio recordings, and we're going to enter them into a drip campaign on Lemlist so that you're going to be following up with them at multiple different emails. So if that sounds like something that you guys are interested in, let's take a look at what this system actually looks like. So here is the audit that we're going to be building out for these clients. Now, this is completely customized to every single business that you're going to be interacting with, and you can send out tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of these reports pretty much automatically in like literally a click of a button. But just as an example, right, of things that you could do in here, you could generate a report with some of their top performing keywords and the traffic related to those keywords that they're generating, where they're getting their traffic and how many hits they're getting, things to do with their website, how it's performing, all of that kind of stuff, like bounce rate, for example, and then a competitor analysis. And not only are we going to be generating and automatically sending out a report like this, but we're also going to be automatically generating a voice recording using AI and sending it to the particular lead to see if they can schedule an appointment. Let's see what that sounds like.
I love the content on your website and wanted to put together a full presentation on how I think you'd be able to get more out of your SEO campaign. Anyways, I just wanted to say hi and see if we could potentially meet
Awesome. So if that sounds like something you want to build out, let's dive into it right now. We're going to be using 4 different types of technology for what we're building today. We're going to be using Appify to scrape different websites and do all of our scraping needs, right? The cool thing is you don't need to know a lick of coding. You do not need to know coding whatsoever. This is all going to be totally no-code solutions. Then we're going to be using Google Slides to create a presentation and send that presentation to your potential leads. These are going to be customized presentations, right? It's not going to be a standard stock thing. We're going to be grabbing information, scraping it online, and then feeding it into a presentation that looks absolutely stunning. We're going to be using Slides Go for a template. This is free. And then we're going to be using Lemlist to send out cold email outreach to these particular clients. We can also use Google or Gmail as well if you want, but Lemlist is also amazing at cold email outreach. And then lastly, we're going to tie it all together using an automation software called make.com. This is one of my favorite softwares. I use it for everything in my business, and it saves us hundreds or thousands of hours every single month. Okay, so that is what we're going to be building, and the majority of this tutorial is going to be taking place in make.com because it is the binding glue for all of these different components, right? We're going to be pulling in web scrapers, we're going to be pulling in Lemlist, we're going to be pulling in Google Slides, all of that kind of stuff. So if you haven't signed up for an account already, please go ahead and do so. It's free to get started. And once you're inside, we're going to build a scenario, right? By clicking create a new scenario above. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to quickly generate leads for us to email, right? So we're going to do this by using Google My Business. Now, there's a lot of different ways you can generate leads out there, but for those of you who don't know this, let's say you type in Toronto landscapers, right? You have a GMB listing or Google My Business listings coming up, and there's hundreds or thousands of different businesses here. And we're actually going to be scraping this information. We're going to be scraping all the details and then their phone numbers and then eventually getting their emails. And then from here, we're going to be automatically creating proposals for each one of these customers and then sending that over to them very quickly with literally no work involved. So this is what we're going to be building. Okay. Now we need to get this information from Google. So how do we do that? Well, we're going to be using, once again, Appify. So in make.com, we're going to log in. And we've created this new scenario. I'm just gonna call this generate leads and web scraper. The first thing we're gonna do is we're going to run an actor here, okay? So we need to run an actor. An actor is just a fancy way of saying, hey, we need to web scrape. And in Appify, when you log in, right? It's free to get started, but when you log in, you have the store page in front of you, and you can actually see all of these different web scraping things that you can use pretty much right out of the box. Like it's like no code necessary, right out of the box, you can use it. But for us, what we're gonna be doing is using Google Maps. And specifically what we're gonna be doing is using this one right here. So 71.4 thousand people have used this. So we can just enter in to this. And we're gonna type in landscapers in Toronto, and we're gonna limit the number of places to 2, right? So you can scrape thousands, tens of thousands, however many you want to. You can go crazy with this. You can go absolutely wild. But just for this tutorial and just to speed up the workflow, we're only gonna do 2. And we're gonna go ahead and click start. And this is going to automatically start scraping businesses on Google My Profile or Google My Business. So it's gonna go down this list and start scraping them automatically, right? But we don't wanna do this in Appify. We wanna use make.com to do this. So what we can do is run this actor and select the correct connection. If you don't already have a connection, you're gonna have to add a connection here, and it's gonna ask for an API token. If you don't know where to get that from, you need to go into settings here. And once you're in settings, go into integrations and then copy this API code here, right? And then you can essentially paste that back into the API token here, and then it will start working. Now, once we've done that, we need to select the actor. If the actor doesn't appear here, it's because you need to run it first in Appify. And once you run it first and it's saved in your actors, then you'll be able to use it. So we're gonna come in, we're gonna find this person. Usually what I like to do is just highlight their name, and I'm gonna search by their name, and it's Crawler Google Places. By the way, I will be posting the blueprints to all of these workflows in the description down below. So if you guys get lost or stuck or whatever, it will be posted down below for you guys to use. We need to make sure that, well, actually, you know what? This is up to your discretion. For right now, it doesn't matter. Run synchronously means that if I have multiple steps, right? Let's say I have another step here, it's gonna wait until this completes before it moves on to the next step. Input JSON, we're gonna have to insert some data here. So in this particular actor, we need to click on input, and you can see here it says manual or JSON. We have to click on JSON here. And this looks scary and confusing if you don't know computer science or anything like that, but don't worry. The only thing you actually have to do with this JSON is just copy and then paste it in here. And that's essentially it, right? So that's really all you need to do. And if you want to make this, if you want to change the keyword here, all you ever have to do is come in here where it says search string array and change this, right? To make it even more simple, we can add another module here, and we'll put the trigger here, connect these together. And what we'll do is we will have a tools and set a variable. So we'll set a variable here, and this will be the search term. And we'll do landscapers Toronto. Okay, perfect. And we'll come back into Appify here. And we're just gonna come down and change the search term here to, we're gonna delete this and we're gonna replace it with the search term here, right? So essentially now what's going on is that anytime we wanna change the search term, we just change it here in the variable value, and then it's gonna run this. Okay, so that's essentially step one of this process already taken care of, right? So we just need to do one more thing, is we need to create another run here. We need to do Appify, and we need to run another actor, right? So if we come back into the results here, we look at the runs, and we look at the results, we can see that, and by the way, this is running this initial thing, right? So we're scraping Google and we're finding these results, right? So let's take a look and see what actually came out, right? So we can see the table down here, and I'm gonna preview this in another tab, but you can see the title, the total score they have, how many reviews, the street, the city, the state, the country, code, their website, their phone number, everything. The only downside to this is that, and this is a limited view, right? You can actually expand and see more data if you want to, but The only problem with this is it doesn't give us the email, right? And we need to email these people. So how do we get the email from here? We go about doing it by creating another web scraper, right? So now that we have the Google My Business profile, then we have to scrape for the website, right? So we need to have another actor here. But before we do that, we just need to add a module here, and we're going to do tools and type in sleep and put this to 30 seconds, okay? You may want to crank this up later on depending on how many results you're running. But essentially what's happening is with the sleep is you're saying, hey, slow down here before you go to the next step, wait 30 seconds. The reason you're waiting 30 seconds is you just want to make sure this data populates and it has the correct information before we run this one, right? Because the last thing we want to do is run this one when this hasn't fully completed and yielded the results yet. So we're going to wait 30 seconds, okay? And then after the 30 seconds, we're going to run another module here, and we can come back into the store and Appify to define this, and we'll do Google Maps email. And it's going to be this one right here, Google Maps email extractor. And essentially, the cool thing about this is that we can run this right off of the results that we got from the last scraper that we built. So I'm going to open up a new tab here for my runs. And I just want to look back at the last run we just did here together, where it was the Google Maps scraper. And if I look at the past run here, right, I can see the results. Unfortunately, my face is conveniently cutting this off, but we have this massive button that says export to results here. And if you just click that, you're going to get this pop-up here. And it says export dataset. So it tells you the ID of this run, and we can just go ahead and copy that and then paste it in here, and we can run this, right? And now what's going to happen is that based on these two results that we got, so if I just open this up in a new tab, we have Landscape Landcare Inc., we have Green Bloom Landscape Design Inc. Now we're going to try and run both of these through to find their emails, right? So initially we scrape Google Maps to find the results, and then we need to have another web scraper where we scrape for their emails so that now we can use that email and we can send them our material, right? So that's the step, and we do it in 2 steps. So now we have this other scraper that is scraping the results that we received from Google My Business results, right? And the only purpose here is to get that email. So as this loads up and we wait, we're gonna go back into make.com and we're gonna build out this next step, right? Because the goal is not to do this manually. The goal is to do this automatically using make.com, because this is gonna make our lives so much easier. So we need to choose the right connection again, the right account, and we're gonna go into the actor here and just find the correct actor. So, okay, we can see that that we have the results here, output. Keep in mind, the email doesn't always appear every single time, right? So if I just search by email, you can see that the email didn't appear, but these guys, the email did appear, right? So it's not a bulletproof system where it's gonna work every single time, because what's happening here is on this second scraper to find the email, now what's going on is the scraper is going into their website, right? So it's going into landcare.ca and it's trying to find 10 pages. It's going through 10 pages to find where there is an email, right? So as long as there's an email on this page, which there is, it's pulling it off the page here, right? And it's using that, or it's giving us that information, right? Okay, so we have the results here, and we're gonna go back into make.com, and we need to populate this actor, right? Or this web scraper. So in the Google Maps email extractor, we just need to find this right actor and load it in to make.com. So I'm gonna copy and paste the developer's name, and it's this result here, Google Maps with contact details, right? And we can check run synchronously is on, and we just need to input the data here, right? The JSON. So kind of coming back here, inputting the JSON, copy, and then paste. And the only thing we need to do is make sure that this ID here, we delete it, and we put in the data set ID here, right? So this way, every time we run this, it's gonna take the correct dataset ID here. Okay, perfect. So this is now officially done. We're gonna turn this on and we're gonna run this one time, okay? So this is running, and as this is running, we need to set up the second part of this workflow, right? Now that we have the particular leads and we're gonna get the emails, now we wanna actually generate a document, right? Generate this PowerPoint presentation, and we wanna send this PowerPoint presentation to them. So in make.com, we're gonna create a new workflow, okay? And this is going to be called generate audit proposal. Okay, sweet. And the starting place of this is gonna be Appify. We're gonna watch actor runs, okay? And we're gonna create a new webhook. And we're looking for when this email extractor is finished, then we're gonna run this. So we'll connect the right account, and we're just choosing this person again, so that Google Maps email extractor, we're gonna put in this actor so that when this completes, and you can see it's about to run, so when this completes, then we're gonna wait. I'm just gonna stop this. We're gonna wait for the results. So now it's running, right? And you can even see in here in Appify that the memory is going. It's currently running this web scraping tool here to extract that email. And then once it's web scraped here, we will receive the results in here in the second workflow. The only downside to this is that sometimes it takes quite a bit of time just to get the results. Okay, it should only be a couple more seconds now until we receive the results here. And then we can continue on with this workflow. All right, so we have received the results and we got one bundle here. So let's just take a look at the data here. Sweet. So what we need to do is we need to, I was actually looking for the email and it didn't appear, and then I freaked out slightly and I was like, damn it, like what's wrong with me? How can I not figure this out? Why is it not working? The reason it's not working is because it's just showing the successful actor run. We don't actually have the details of the run. We just have the actual information that it has successfully been completed. So in order to actually get that data, we need to create another module here, and we need to get dataset items, okay? And we'll choose the right connection, and the dataset ID is going to be what we got from the first step here. So default dataset items, and then we can click OK. And it's gonna give us the result. Now, just to speed up this process, right? Instead of having to wait for the scraper every single time and then waiting 60 to 120 seconds, that's like really painstakingly tedious. I'm actually just gonna copy this ID here, and I'm gonna manually hard code it in here for now, okay? And we're gonna unlink these, and the start is going to be on this, right? So we're always gonna just grab this result, okay? We have these two bundles. We can take a look at the output here, and on one of them, we have an email, okay? Perfect. So we have this email from this landscaping company here. Let's see, Landscapers Toronto. Okay, so it's David McElden Landscape and Design. So these guys, we did successfully get their email, right? So what we want to do is we want to effectively now create a report, right? So we want to create a report like this, and we're going to create an SEO audit, but you can effectively do this with like literally any different type of marketing. As long as you're selling some digital services or you're selling consulting or whatever, you can web scrape whatever data that you want as long as it's publicly accessible. And you can put it into a presentation. It's like an ultimate lead magnet that costs no time, and instead of them having to give you their contact information to get the lead magnet, you're just sending it out to them beforehand, right? So it is super cool, but we're just going to use SEO for the purpose of this. So we have this run, and what we're going to do here is we're going to actually generate another Apify scrape, right? Because we want to get information about this particular company, right? We want to figure out information about them. So we'll run an actor here, and what we'll do is connect the right account and choose another actor. So in here, I'm going to open up my actors, and we're going to do similar web advanced scraper. So in the store, you can do similar web advanced scraper, and this is the one we're going to use. Now you can quickly just press start, and then when you press start, it's going to appear in your actors here, and then you can pull it in here. But yeah, I'll just go ahead and I'll start this out, and we're going to scrape the website djang.ca. Now, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and load that actor in, similar web, and it's going to be curious_coder, similar web advanced scraper. For this module, we need to make sure it runs synchronously so that you know, it doesn't move on to the next step until this is completed. Now, with that being said, let's come back in here and let's grab this JSON data. Okay, here we go, and we can insert it here. Okay, now what you could do is, I'm just gonna leave it as djang.ca, but ultimately speaking, you'd wanna put the websites that we just scraped beforehand, right? So how we do this is we'd go in and put, we'd find the website here. So it would be something like this, okay? So we'd want to put in this website here. Now, there's only one problem with this, and that is that this website has http://www. Right? So we need to get everything after earthinc.com, right? Otherwise, unfortunately, this isn't going to run because it doesn't accept the HTTPS. It only accepts the domain .ca or .com or whatever. So how we can go about doing that is we'll add another module here. We'll select tools, and we're going to set a variable here. And we will put the name of the website. We'll say website name, and then we're going to use some code on here. So we're going to split it and get everything from the domain name passed, but we don't want to include the actual HTTP module, right? So we're going to split it by the dot, and we'll give this a quick run here. So run this module only. We'll test with HTTPS. We'll just do this, right? And let's see the results here. Okay, and the results are djang.ca. Now, what we could also do here is we could put the // right? So let's try this out again. We'll run this module only, paste this in here, and then try it out. And the website will be djang.ca. Now, you just want to make sure that you have something here, obviously, that is going to account for all different types of websites, right? And we will kind of circle back to this. I'm just going to move forward for now, and we're going to put the website being, let's just click OK for now. We'll run this, and we're going to force stop here. We just want to enter in the domain here And you'll see that it says 1 HTTP. So we just need to put 2 here, right? So what's going to happen is with this split, it gives us 2 results, 1 and 2. We just want to put 2 here, and then it's going to give us this second part. Now, because this website has a www, we could also put it here, right? www dot, and then we can run this again, and there we go. We have the website earthinc.com, right? And let's just see how this runs, and then we'll solve this set variable together. Okay, so this is run, and now we've successfully run the actor. All we need to do here is we just need to make sure that we receive the results here. So get dataset items, and we're gonna get the dataset ID. Dataset ID. So what we need to do first is we need to set up a filter here, and we just need to make sure that we're only sending companies down this path if the email exists, right? So we can run this and just take a look. There should be 2 results. One's filtered and one's passed through, right? So we want to make sure that we only send people through if that email exists, right? And if it doesn't, well, then we're probably not going to send them this customized proposal because there's no email to send to, right? So that's step number 1 here. And then we need to solve this, this solution where it comes to the website. So one thing that we could do here is we could, I'm just going to auto line this and just move these out of the way here. One thing that we could do instead is we could use AI, right? So we could do Chat GPT, and we could have a prompt completion here, right? Because it's difficult just because there's many different ways websites can be presented, and we just want to make sure that we structure it in the right way every single time. And the best way probably is to use artificial intelligence. So we're going to use GPT 4.0. You will need to connect this in, guys, if you haven't already. So you can just quickly add an account and enter in your API key, and you can just open up the API key here and then enter it in. Now, if it's not working, it's because you haven't added money to your ChatGPT account. So you need to make sure you add money to this or else it's not going to work. So we're going to add the messages here, and we're going to have a system message. So we'll enter in the website, and what we're going to say is, here's a website. Please make sure it only includes the domain and top tier domain code. For example, input, output, and then break. And we'll just copy this 3 times just to give it examples. So HTTPS google.com will be google.com, and then http://www.google.com will be google.com, and then input number 3 would be something like, let's just say Google, www.google.com/ would be google.com. Okay, and we'll put the max tokens at 100. And let's just take a quick look and see how this responds to it. Okay, choices, 1, index, message. So we can see here that the website being pushed out is uplpgroup.com. So let's just take a look and see what this website is, just to make sure that that looks good. So it did seem to work. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to use that. Okay, so we're going to delete this module because this was ineffective. And we have our filter step here, and we have GPT essentially automatically formatting the website. Now what we're going to do is we're going to continue on with the web scraping to make sure that we get this website scraped and we have data that we can enter in. Okay, so let's just take a look here. Everything looks good to go. I'm just gonna save that and then we're gonna run this module. And let's take a look. Okay, so it is working. We went through it and we just tried it on djang.ca, right? So it would have worked if we actually put in this particular website, but I'm just gonna move forward with my own just for as an example. But of course, if you wanted to change this, you could easily go ahead and do that. So here's all of the information that we just received on my website from this, right? You can see competitors, you can see the most common search terms, you can see organic versus prepaid search, right? So 95% of my results are coming from organic, about 5% are coming from paid. So this is pretty cool, right? So we have the information from from the scrape. And now what we want to do is put this into a presentation, right? So how we're going to go about doing this is we're going to connect this back together. We're going to tie this in. And what we're going to do is we're just going to take the dataset ID here. So dataset ID, we're going to hard code this in right to here. And we're going to detach this. We're going to unlink. We're going to bring this to the top and we're going to start again. And the reason why we're doing this, guys, is because we don't want to have to go through this whole process of going through ChatGPT, going through running the actor, going through running this actor. It's just going to take forever to test out. And we just want to make sure that we're nimble with this, right? The only other thing that we'd probably want to do here is just enter in the dataset ID here so that this is now officially connected back in. And if you wanted to make sure that this is connected back in as well, you'd put in the website here. So we'll go to messages, content here, and we'll get rid of this, right? So now in this workflow, effectively any single site that comes through, we would filter out any sites that don't have an email associated with them. We'd get the exact URL that we're looking for, and then we'd scrape that and then we'd find the results. But in this case, we have the results here. So we just want to effectively now use these results to create a presentation like this, okay? So the next step is to create the Google slide show. So we're gonna choose Google slide show, and we're going to create a presentation from a template, okay? And for this title, there's a lot of different things we could put, but I'm just gonna put the domain for now, and then say marketing audit, okay? And we wanna copy a presentation, and I'm gonna find the presentation ID. Now you're probably wondering, what presentation are we using? How do I find this? All that kind of stuff. This is the presentation we're gonna be using. You could go into Google Slides, right? And you could choose one of their template IDs, but let's be honest, these look pretty horrible. And I wouldn't use any of these. I'm sorry if that offended you and you actually do like the templates. I just personally, I think they're atrocious to say the least. But yeah, I would just go on Google and I would quickly type in like whatever template you're looking for. I just typed into Google Slides, SEO, audit template. It was like literally the first option here. So I quickly chose that. I created an account for free, downloaded it, and now I have access to that template here. So let's just load this in. And once we have this template ready to go, we can start customizing this straight through make.com. Okay, perfect. So the first thing is we need the presentation ID. That can be found here. So you can just copy the presentation ID in the URL and we'll paste it in. Okay, awesome. And if we were to go ahead and test this out, then it would automatically generate a new proposal for us. Now, that's not necessarily what we want to do. We want to create custom values here, right? So we have this tag and replaced value. So essentially, you know, let's say we had SEO proposal for company, right? And what we could do is we could automatically replace this company, right, with the website here, right? So we could just do domain, for example. I'm just going to give you guys quick examples here. I'm not necessarily going to create like a fully fleshed out presentation where it's like A to Z perfect, but I'm just going to give you guys examples. So we can go ahead and we can run this, and let's give it a shot and see what happens. Okay, so as this is running right now, we're just going to come back in here. And it should appear in a couple seconds here. Okay, sweet. Just going to make sure I chose the right account here. So we're going to come in here into the right account, and the template we just created is right here, right? So if we enter into that template, let's just take a look at the custom field here and see if it actually was populated in, right? Maybe I entered in the custom parameter wrong, but you can see here now that we have this, it says for djing.ca. Okay, sweet. So this is great. We have for the company name. Now there is 4 things that I'm mainly gonna do in this slideshow. I'm gonna have, based on the information here, I'm just gonna pull this up so I can see. We're gonna have a competitor analysis page, a search source, top keywords, overview, and traffic. So we're gonna have 5 pages here, and I'm gonna create these one by one. So slides 3, 4, 5, 8, and 15. Okay, those are the ones that I want. And we're just going to go ahead and actually, let's just see here. Okay, we're going to come into this template that I have, and we're going to make sure that we only have those slides available. So just bear with me here for a second as this takes 2 geological eras to load. Literally glaciers have come and gone in the time that this has taken to load. Thank you, Google Sheets or slides. Okay, so just coming down here, we're gonna delete everything very quickly. Okay, great. And I'm gonna delete all of these. I'm gonna keep one just in case I need as a backup. And we're gonna move this over here. And I wanted slides 3, 4, 5, 8. Okay, we'll delete these 2 as well. And I'm gonna delete this one as well. Okay, so that looks good to me. We have our generic proposal here. This is kind of like the boilerplate of what we're gonna use. And now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna populate these in with these custom fields here, right? And we're gonna get these custom fields by this web scraping technology that we just built out, right? So let's take a look and see what we want here. So I'm just going to add this in here. The first thing we wanna do is we wanna have competitor analysis, right? So with the competitor analysis, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this slide here and we're gonna do competitor analysis, something like this. And let's just see, the competitors are gonna be Airwaves Music. So what we'll do is we'll come in here. Well, actually, sorry, I'm gonna come back here. And let's just take a look. Okay, sweet. So we wanna have template top competitor. And then we'll go ahead and add something else and say, here is their visitor count every single month. And then we'll do competitor visitors, and we'll put something like, let's just say this compares to your company, which generates business visitors per month. Okay, so we can have something like that where we say, here's your top competitor. This is how many they're getting. This is how many you're getting, right? So that's page number 1. And then search source, right? So we're gonna build out another page here, and we're just gonna say search where you're getting traffic from. Okay, so now we have a page here where you're getting traffic from. And we'll do traffic source 1. We'll copy this over, and we'll do traffic source 2, and then we'll do traffic source 3, and then we'll do traffic source 4. And then let's just see where we can get this information from. So we come down here. Where is it? So, okay, so direct, referrals, organic, and paid. So I take that back. We're gonna do direct traffic, referral traffic, and then we're gonna do organic search for paid traffic, and then we're gonna do social traffic. And then we'll do traffic source, we're gonna copy and paste this in, traffic source 1, traffic source 2, traffic source 3, and in this, we're just gonna share with them, for example, this is where you're getting your traffic and this is how many hits you're getting per month, right? So we'll do like a percentage at the end of this, a percentage at the end of that, percentage and percentage. And now we know, kind of roughly speaking, what percentages we're getting. The next thing we could do is top keywords, right? So we could come back to here, and let's say we have, I'm just gonna take a look at what else we have to do. Yeah, so we'll do top keywords here, top keywords, and then we'll come in here and say top keyword 1. And if we take a look, scroll up to the top here, we'll see the name and then estimated volume. So top keyword 1, we'll copy here. Top keyword 2, top keyword 3, and top keyword 4. Estimated monthly traffic equals keyword 1 traffic, and we'll do the same for the second one. Keyword 2 traffic, keyword 3 traffic, and then keyword 4 traffic, right? So there we go. And I think the last page overall is the overview. This is the last one we're just going to cover in this, and then we can kind of move on. Because I think by this point in time, you're going to get the point of this, but we just want to do like an overview, right? So So the overview section. So we can do something like global rank. And then we'll do global rank. And then we'll do country rank, and we'll do the custom variable country rank here. And let's see what else we could do. We could do bounce rate. Bounce rate, and we'll put in that here. Bounce rate, and then pages per visit. Pages per visit. Pages per visit. And we're just mapping out all these custom fields, right? So essentially, we're gonna be able to pass all this information onto the Google slideshow. And then you could just do average duration. And let's just abbreviate this to average duration. Average duration. And let's just choose one last thing. Total visitor count. Okay, sweet. Awesome. So we have all of these pre-populated, and now what we need to do is we need to enter these in on the spreadsheet. I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to delete this one, and I'm going to delete the one below that, and we can kind of work on populating in these different fields here. So right now we have for company, right? Now what we need to do is come in here and fill in the top keywords. So let's go back to this spreadsheet here. And to make this very simple, I'm gonna just keep going down and adding all the different tag names, and then we'll be able to add them in. So top keyword 1, top keyword 2, top keyword 3, top keyword 4, and then we'll go down to add another 4 variables for the keyword traffic here. So keyword traffic 1, keyword traffic 2, keyword traffic 3, and keyword traffic 4. Man, this is super repetitive, but the cool thing is that once you do it one time, you will never freaking ever have to do it ever again. Okay, so then we'll do tag traffic source 1, traffic source 2, traffic source 3, and traffic source 4. Okay, and after the 4 traffic sources here, then we can go to the next thing. We'll do global rank below. So let's add that in here, global rank. And then we'll do country rank. And then bounce rate. After bounce rate, we're gonna do page per visit, average view duration, and sweet. And then visitor count, there should be an underscore there. Okay, awesome. So we have successfully entered in all of these. And now what we have to do is we actually have to fill them in, right? So we have to place values for all of these. So let's do that. Okay, so on page 1, we have keywords, top keyword number 1, right? So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna find out where that is. So I am going to open this up again. So I have 2 tabs, and that way I can just essentially look through this really quickly to see kind of where, okay, that didn't work at all. I have to save it, but in order for me to save it, I have to close this. So let's just try and find this. Keywords. Okay, top keywords. So we're going to do top keyword 1, top keyword 2, top keyword 3, and top keyword 4. And then volume, top keyword volume 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. So we're just grabbing it from the data here and then entering it into the spreadsheet here. Traffic source. So we're going to look at the source of the traffic. So on to page 2 here, we have traffic source, right? And let's kind of just take a look here. So here's direct visitor share. This will be referral visitor share. Traffic source 3 would be organic. Let's just make sure. A direct. Okay, so we have direct. Okay, perfect. Referral. Top 3 is organic. And we're going to do paid here. Gotcha. Okay, perfect. Organic, and then this will be paid. And paid. Okay, perfect. This we're going to have to format at a later point in time, but we can circle back to that. We're going to come down to the overview, and we're going to do global rank. We're going to do country rank. We're going to do bounce rate. We're going to do pages per visit, and then we're going to do average duration. Let's see where that is. Average duration, and then we're going to do visitor count. Okay, sweet. So we have everything here. We're going to go ahead and save this. And yeah, let's try this out. Let's see how this looks, right? Okay, so we're going to refresh this page, and let's see. So presentation ID. Oh, okay, I'm just gonna get the presentation ID here and see if this is loaded in. It should be this one right here, but I'm just going to double check. And let's just wait for this to load. Okay, so here it is. I just entered in the ID here so that we could pull up the exact one. So we have SEO audit proposal for djang.ca, and then we have, common keywords. So it's pulling it in, and it's pulling in the values as well, right? So this we have to fix. We need to make sure that these values don't end up, going off the page here, because obviously that looks really bad. And then now we have the traffic source, and we need to put this into percentages, but we can see that it's starting to come along. It's starting to look good. Global rank, country rank, bounce rate, page per visit, average duration, and visitor count, and then competitor analysis, right? Which we totally forgot to add in here. So let's go back and yeah, let's fix this up and just make sure that we get this looking good. So what we're gonna do is, first and foremost, we're gonna come down here to the bottom, and we're gonna add in these last couple steps here. So we'll add in top competitor. We'll add in competitor visits. And then we'll also add in business visits. Okay, sweet. So we'll type in competitors and we'll put this domain here. And we'll just put one there, competitor, visitor total, and we'll put one there, and we'll put traffic for us. And let's see, I believe we had total visitor count. Perfect. So we're going to add in that. So now these should be good to go. So I'm going to kind of work backwards here. The bounce rate, so where it says bounce rate, so we need to change this, right? So how we're going to go about doing that is we're going to turn this into a percentage here. So let's go ahead and do that. How we want to turn a number like this into a percentage is we're going to multiply this by 100, right? So it would go from like 0.97 to 97, right? And then we just want to make sure that this is rounded. So we'll put round here, and this is going to round it to 1 or 2 decimal points. We'll copy and paste that in, right? So that should be fine. Okay, and then same thing with page per visit. Same kind of deal here. We're just going to copy this and paste this down below, and we will enter this value here. Okay, is there any other on this page? Nope, that looks good to me. And then same kind of thing with direct traffic. So we'll just do the same thing here for traffic sources. So I'll just paste this in all 4. And then we're going to copy this in. Okay, sweet. So that's number 1 done. And then number 2 is done. Number 3 is done. Number 4 is done. Okay, awesome. Onto this, we just need to effectively shorten these up, right? So there's a couple ways we could do it. Like we could have a split function here where we have like a substring function where we just shorten it up to a certain amount of words. But I think what might be better is if we just shorten the text size. So we could just reduce the text size and that's fine. Or for simplicity, I'm just going to share another thing here. For the top keywords, right, we could just do something like this. So we could do substring and throw that in here and then put this as 1, 2, let's just do word count here and see kind of what we're looking at. 25 characters is probably good. So we just want to make sure that we have 0 to 25 characters showing, right? So everything between 0 to 25 characters will be kept in, everything else will be kept out, right? So that is one way to do this, right? Obviously it's not the most pretty way to do this, but it might be the only feasible way to just make sure that we don't go overboard on this, right? So, and we're just kind of throwing out examples of things that you could do here, right? You don't necessarily have to exactly verbatim copy exactly what I created here. You can find different things to put on there, but this is just something that you could do kind of to get around it. Unfortunately, there's no right answer on how to truncate the text, right? You could use ChatGPT and be like, hey, can you reword this so that it's 25 characters or less? And that's probably a really good example. That's something that I would do. But just for now, for the purpose of this tutorial, we're just going to use this example here. Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead And let's try this out again. And let's see. Okay, it's just gonna take, oh, that was actually pretty fast. Sweet. Okay, so presentation ID, we're gonna copy that over and paste it in. And let's see what this comes up with. Oh, okay, awesome. So there we go, part 1. Part 2, right? We can see that it's even a bit longer there. Doesn't look the best, but gives some idea of what we could be doing here. We have the percentages here, that's pretty cool. And then we have the, you know, all the numbers here. We could do bounce rates. Maybe we just add a percentage onto the bounce rate there so that, you know, it's shown as a percentage. Okay, suites, the bounce rate, visitor count, average duration, pages per visit. You know, that seems a bit high, so that's probably not right, but just as an example. And then competitor analysis, here's your competitor, here's, you know, where they're at, and this is where you're at every single month. Okay, so that seems pretty good to me. I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to save this, okay? So, perfect. Okay, right on. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create just like a nice little voice memo for the person that we're sending this to. So we're gonna generate some audio and we're just gonna actually like literally provide an audio file of being like, hey, you know, would love to work with you guys. So for example, the input here could be like, hello, and you'd pull in the first name from back here, but because we're currently working from this forward, we don't actually have access to the name, right? But you would have access to the name here, right? If we had connected this seamlessly. So we could just be like, hello there, I just came across, actually, that seems really generic. I wanted to, I loved the, okay, actually, let's just think about this for a second. Hello there, I loved the content on your website and wanted to put together a full presentation on how I think you'd be able to get more out of your SEO campaign. Anyways, I just wanted to say hi and see if we could potentially grab coffee or meet virtually sometime. Best, Jono. I don't know. That's pretty lame. I wouldn't use exactly that, but that's just like an example that you could use. And then we're just going to use the model down here. We're going to use Shimmer as the voice. These are like multiple different voices you can use. And then we're going to keep the file the same, MP3 and speed equals 1. That's pretty cool. This is going to generate a response for us. And then quite simply, we could just send this off to somebody, right? So based on the email that we received, we could literally just send this, right? So let's just see here. So I'm just going to add in jcatliff at gmail.com. Once again, you get this email from behind, and we're going to go through this all together, but this is the whole point of what we built out earlier, is where all of this is kind of, you know, put in together, right? So we'll generate this email. There's just one more thing we want to do, and that is, no, we're gonna, yeah, you can use like ChatGPT if you want, and you can create like a customized response to this email if you wanted to do that. And you could send that customized response out to the client. So just for the purposes of the demo, I'll kind of show you what that would look like. So we'd create a model here. We'd have OpenAI, we'd create a completion, and we'd use GPT-4.0, and we'd have a max tokens of like 100. This is just how many letters, or like how long your message is. Tokens represent a certain amount of letters. So the more tokens you have, the larger your message could be. So we'll put the role as system. We're just essentially providing context for GPT-4 to be able to understand what it is that we want it to do. And in this case, we want it to generate an email for us, right? So please generate an email to this domain. And once again, if you're running it through, you'd provide all the information. You'd be like, please provide it to this person's first name and last name. Here's the domain, here's their email, here's the type of services they're offering, right? And all of that kind of stuff. You'd be able to provide all of it. Like, for example, let's just see. So service, yeah, there's very limited information that we're getting from this, but we'll tie it all together and I'll show you guys what that looks like afterwards, and we can kind of go from there. But please generate an email for this domain. I'm looking to generate, I've generated, let's see, full marketing audit presentation that I'm sending over to them on their SEO score. I just want to mention how I came across their website and loved their content. So we can go ahead and try this out. Please send it on behalf of Jono Catliff, and do not include an email signature or sign off. Okay, we will do the email signature and sign off afterwards. And then we could just, yeah, essentially create the subject line, full marketing audit for website, domain, let's see, domain would be this. And then we could have like the GPT response here. So that's cool. Let's try this out. We just need to enter in this response and then we're good to go. So this will just take a second to load this Google slide here. Sweet. We've generated the audio and we've sent the email. We just need to actually add in more content here. So we can put in choices, message, and the content here. And then we will attach an file, and this is going to be the audio file that we created. And we'll click OK. We just want to make sure this Google slideshow is shared, right? And we would share it with other people, right? So you'd enter that in. And then we'll come back to this and say, please contain the slideshow link in the email here. And then presentation ID would be this, right? So we'll copy and paste this in, grab the presentation ID, paste that here, and then it should send that off. Okay, cool. So we have this. And one last thing here is we just don't want to put a subject line. So also, please do not include a subject line. Get straight into the body of the email. Okay, awesome. So let's give this a shot, and then we can take a look and see how it looks when this eventually comes through. Okay, so it's being generated. Okay, sweet. So it has officially sent, and let's take a look. Okay, so we have our new file here. It says full marketing audit for djang.ca. And then it just says, I hope this email finds you well. I recently came across your website, djing.ca, and was thoroughly impressed by the quality and depth of your content. Your team's commitment to providing valuable information is truly commemorable. In light of this, I've taken the liberty of conducting a full marketing audit of your site. I believe the insights recommendations contained in this presentation could be highly beneficial to your ongoing efforts. Please find the detailed slideshow here, right? They click on it and they would need to have access to this, right? So because they don't have access to this, it's just not going to work. So we're going to have to give access there, but they can listen to this
Hello
intro.
there. I loved the content on your website and wanted to put together a full presentation on how I think you'd be able to get more out of your SEO campaign. Anyways, I just wanted to say hi and see if we could potentially meet virtual sometime. Best, Jono.
Okay, so there's like a nice little audio file, and then we have the Google presentation here. And obviously this doesn't look the best, right? So we need to change this up quite a bit. So with that being said, I mean, I'm just gonna leave it at this, just so you guys can kind of play around and see how this looks like, and you can make it up yourself as you see fit. The only last thing that I just wanna mention here is maybe what we can do is we can unlink this, and we can, instead of just sending, hey, one email, why not send them to multiple, like down a cold email list, right? And how we can do this is Lemlist. You can start out with their trial, but then eventually you're gonna have to pay to upgrade your plan. You can start with Gmail if you wanna start for free, but Lemlist is a great alternative for cold email outreach. And what we're gonna do is we're just going to add this person into a campaign. So we're gonna go Lemlist, and we're gonna click in there. We're gonna add a lead to a specific campaign, right? Cool. So we would just make sure to have the campaign ID. So if you haven't done so already, you're just gonna need to sign up for a free account here. In my case, I'm just gonna log in, and we're just gonna walk through the actual account or the campaign creation here very briefly, just to see how you can kind of make this work, right? I'm not going to go through like a general tutorial on Lemlist just because it's going to take way too long, but essentially there's a couple steps you have to do to set up your account appropriately. But if you go into campaign, you can create a new campaign here, and we're just going to start with sending an email, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to choose whichever email we want to send this to, and you can create a subject line. So coming back in here, we can take a look and see what we did here. So I'll connect this in just so I can see, and then it'll be like full marketing audit for, and then it'll be like name, and then you could be like, hey, name, I came across your site and was fascinated by the work you do. I just thought the marketing lacked a bit. I put together a presentation for you to go over that could really help you improve your overall marketing strategy. That's all I wanted to share. All the best, Jono. And then sign off, and you could see how they reply to that. And then we'll just copy the presentation here below the presentation as well. And we're going to create the presentation there. And there we go. We can include that in here. Sweet. And then we could just say, by the way, here's a quick introduction of myself. Just wanted to say hi. Okay, perfect. And we'll put in audio file here. Okay, so we've created the new audio file, and this is going to be a link, and we have the presentation link, and then we have the person's name, right? So whatever it is that you want to put in here, you can go ahead and do that, right? And you can build out all these different steps and everything, right? But just for the purpose of this presentation, that's all we're going to do. So we're going to come back in to Lemlist or into make.com, and we're going to make sure that we add these custom variables, right? So custom variable 1 and 2 and 3. So name, actually, sorry, there's just going to be 2 here. Presentation and audio file. Let's just make sure that's correct. And we could do first name here. So let's change this to first name. And we'll also change this to first name as well. Okay, cool. So we have these 2 things here. And what we need to do is add in the presentation and add in the audio file. We'll start with the audio file just because it's nice and simple. We'll add them into the campaign. I only have 1 campaign, so that's what I added in. I'm just going to hard code the email for now because we don't have access to these previous steps. And then I'm also going to hard code in these values just so you can kind of see what it looks like, all that kind of stuff. But all these would be manually added or custom fields, right? That would be changing depending on which company it is. Okay, so we have that. What we're going to do here is we're just going to add a new module, and this is going to be Google Drive. And we're going to create a file, or let me see here, search for files, download a file. We're going to add the account, sign with Google. Okay. Choose that, give authentication to Google so that we can save files. We're just trying to save the audio file right now so that it's saved in Google Drive. And then once it's saved in Google Drive, then we're going to be able to access it later on. So in this example, we can't actually save it there. So I'm just going to use a company account here, and we're going to save it. All right, so just continuing on here, I made a mistake. We actually need to select something else for Google Drive. And what that is we need to upload a file. And it's going to be this OpenAI ChatGPT thing that we just created here. And I'm just gonna go ahead and select from a list, my drive, and I'll just go ahead and choose like the most generic folder possible here. And then there we go. We're going to show advanced settings here, convert to a file. We'll just leave it as no for now. Okay, sweet. And we'll do a voice recording. Okay, sweet. So let's give this a shot. We're going to test out this campaign one more time. So click OK, and we're going to run this. So it's going to generate the presentation. It will generate the link here, the drive, and then the message, and then it'll send it over to Lemlist. Okay, so I actually chose the wrong thing to do in Google Drive here. So we're gonna go back to Google Drive, and what we're gonna do is we're going to click upload a file, okay? And we're gonna just enter it in, and all we have to do is just put in the file here, okay? And yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll select from a list, we'll choose my drive, and we'll just choose whatever folder application it is here. Okay, and then let's see if this is gonna work for us here. And we just need to make sure that it's shared with that particular user, and we're good to go. Sweet, so we're gonna come into Lemlist here, and we're gonna put the presentation as, let's just pull that presentation up. So we're copying and pasting it in here, and then we just need to make sure that the presentation ID is entered in correctly. Let's see, presentation ID, perfect. Or we could try and see share. Okay, and then the audio file is going to be the Google Drive here. So in Google Drive, we have, let's see, it should be one of these. So let's just run it for now, and then we're gonna take a look afterwards. We just need to click OK on this, and let's give it a shot. Okay, we're generating the slideshow. Sweet, we've saved it to Google Drive. And this may or may not work. Okay, cool. So that looks good to me. We just need to force stop this, and I'm going to click save. And we'll run one more time just because it deleted all the data there. Cool. Okay, awesome. All we need to do now is just add in these last couple things. So audio file, we can add in the web view link, and then we can also have this presentation ID here, okay? We can save that, and once we go into Lemlist, we just need to delete this contact out of there, and we can give it one more shot, and it should successfully add them to the campaign and load in all of the custom variables that we were just talking about. And on top of that, we should actually get a email, right, from Lemlist here. So let's go ahead and see how this works. Okay, so everything looks good. We have sent it all in, and now in Lemlist we can just go ahead and click to launch, click this person, launch the lead, and we'll launch the campaign for this lead, and we should be able to see in our inbox this email coming in. It'll just take a couple seconds here to load, and then we'll have access to it. Okay, so let's take a look, and we can see that we did receive it. Here's the email. The first thing that we'll see here is the marketing report that we just created for the client, and then here is the introduction where we actually have a nice little voice recording. Pardon me. And the cool thing is about Lemlist is that you can build out multiple different emails. There could be 5, 6, 7 emails where you're sending them updated stuff, right? So let's take a listen to this again.
Hello there. I loved the content on your website and wanted to put together a full
Here's the presentation
on how I think you'd be able to get more out of your SEO campaign. Anyways, I just wanted to say hi and see if we could potentially meet virtual sometime.
Okay.
Best, Jono.
Sweet. So that's essentially it, guys. The only last thing to do is to officially connect these all together, and then it would work perfectly. We'd set the dataset ID here, so that it would be from dataset ID 8. Dataset ID, and then we're good to go, right? And then from here on out, we'll just play this. I'm gonna pause and return back because this is gonna take quite a while for this whole thing to play out. So we're gonna come into the main workflow here, generate leads web scraper that we built earlier in this video, and we're gonna click run once. And then once we run it, it's gonna complete the whole thing from very start to very finish. And now you have a system that can work with tens of thousands of people. So the workflow is done. We've run this system from start to finish. We have scraped websites off of Google My Business, right? So we've gotten these websites, and then we needed to find the emails for those websites. And we went ahead and ran a second scraper to find emails. Once we got the emails, we filtered out any websites that we couldn't find emails for, we formatted the website properly with artificial intelligence so that we could throw into the next scraper, where essentially in that scraper, we wanted to scrape the website just to get all the SEO information to create a presentation. Then we create an audio file to send to that person just saying, hey, I'd love to jump on a call or whatnot. We're saving that into the drive so that we can access that and send that drive link so they can listen to the audio file. And then we're creating an email using artificial intelligence to add them into Lemlist and then send them off. And we can have a sequence in Lemlist where we're sending multiple different emails to that client dripped out over time. The only thing that might be worth considering here is just coming back here and just making sure that we actually put in the client email, right, where we can see it here, and the name as well. So if we just come back here and search up name, in this case, we're just going to title, we're going to find the title here. So instead of first name, we're just going to use the title of the particular company that we're reaching out to. We can also put the company name here. And we have the presentation and audio file. So when we send people in Lemlist, it is using the correct contact information. And we could also get the first and the last name of the person as well by trying to scrape the about page, but it might be a bit unlikely. You could also try and scrape on LinkedIn if you want to add an additional step in here to get more information on the particular owner or whoever it is that you want to send the email to. But for this business case or use case scenario, we're just going to use the actual company name. So that is essentially it. We're going to go ahead and save that. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you found it useful, please make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Please hit the thumbs up button. The blueprints will be down below as well. If you have any ideas on future video ideas, please make sure to let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks. Bye.